So welcome. I'm Dr. Bart Rademaker, Prescription for Your Transformation, Real People, Real Conversations, and Real Success. And one of the coolest things, and I always have to share this on the beginning of my shows, is the incredible talent, incredible people that I get to meet all over the world. And what's cool about today is we're talking about art, but a very unique kind of art, not the one that's stuck on a wall, but it's one that you get to participate in the whole inspiration of it and the understanding of what its real meaning is all about. And so this is about the combination of this is symbiosis, if you will, of what they like to call a transition. This is about the combination of this is symbiosis, if you will, of what they like to call a transition. Okay. So here's what's interesting, guys. If you can mute your not put your Facebook part live so that you get the delay of what's going on. I'm hearing myself over again. And what's unfortunate right now is that something is wrong with my video. My webcam is kind of acting up a little bit. So let me just quickly change that if I need to. Let's see if we can do that. No, that's not working. Hold on a second. All right, hopefully this is going to work. All right, so basically it's that symbiosis of nature and technology. It's really getting that synergy, that combination, that alchemy, if you will, of the differences of things that are available to us. And so what's really exciting about today is talking to Lucas, Bruce, and Itamar all over the world, coming to Burning Man this year and presenting a very unique way of interpreting the world and delivering us an insight of what's possible for us. So guys, I'm going to ask Lucas first because he's the first person I got to connect with on this incredible project, and tell us a little bit about, what's the meaning behind this as I actually try to figure out what's wrong with my camera here.
I see you just fine. But in the meantime, I will present a little bit about our project, which is called Ethereal Fleeting, and it's an installation which is formed out of a sculpture and of different of different materials, and which is sort of a machine to produce clouds. And so it's a machine which will produce clouds on the playa and create a very unique and surreal experience by that, because since in the desert we don't see that much clouds. That's really something which haunts us to like change the places and like relocate things and make an incredible experience with that.
So what I'm getting from you, Lucas, is that and let me ask you this first, to be answered after I share what I want to share, is that was the inspiration of this because you want to create something in Burning Man, or did the inspiration of this cloud come first? Because here's what's interesting, is that for those people who are not familiar with Burning Man, this is an incredible place for our minds to expand and for us to have the freedom to dive into realms that really can mean a lot to us and can really give us so much growth and understanding of the world around us. And so it's kind of interesting, as you said, is that in the desert, you don't see clouds. So we're creating something that, in essence, I take it as a metaphor of, in life, we want to be thinking out of the box. And is that sort of the direction you're wanting to go with this?
Yes. I mean, this sort of like change the use of something and like change the habits or like the normalities is something which I have also in my work in general, in my artistic work. And we came together with Itamar and and Bruce and really thought about how can we create an experience like this for Burning Man. So from that starting point, we searched for a project, and we are all quite interested in like in digital technologies in the same time as in nature, and in what does it mean, yeah, what does nature means to us in our society now in the 21st century, and how this nature is still included, or like could be included differently as well in this society.
So one thing I know, artists are all unique, and they love the work that they do. And so I'm going to invite both Bruce and Itamar, starting off with Bruce. What's your perspective? What's your gift that you're wanting to share in this incredible work that you guys are doing?
The thing that really gets me excited about this is that it's making something for an instant. It's the transitory nature of the work. I like it from anything from making bubbles to making clouds. Anything that comes is there for, and then it's gone. So that's what really draws me to this project.
So why that specifically? Because I know the essence of Burning Man, by the way, is the temporary nature of it all, and but why is that important for you?
That's a good question. It's something that underline lots of my thoughts, lots of my actions. It's we're here, we exist, and then we're gone.
Right. Yeah. And I have to kind of concur with that somewhat, because what I'm passionate about in all the work that I do is I'm passionate about creating change, enhancing life, and inspiring others for peaceful awareness. And so I'm very much all about, change and discovery and moving forward and all that stuff. It's been, fundamental in everything that I've done, and sometimes a bit of a challenge because then you try to change too many things. But I want to go to Itamar and capture his brilliance, his genius about all of this.
Yeah, so I think a lot of things have been said. Also, I want to maybe start with this transitory nature of the cloud, and the cloud in general as a piece, as an object of and a source of inspiration, kind of in the spirit that comes in the spirit of Burning Man, and that can be many different things and can take many different shapes and forms, and evaporates and dissolves and gets created again out of nothing, kind of, and you also this kind of synthetic nature that we try to create in a place where there is no nature, where it's like we're like a place against, like, where life is not growing, where there is no plants, and so kind of fill this place with our imagination and with our thoughts of kind of what we know from what's around this place.
What's interesting, and I think this is one thing that when you read all these great philosophers and people who study humanity, and there's so many versions of this, of course, but it's sort of like, Homo sapiens means, we're people of knowing, and that's how we distinguish ourselves from, other species. But more importantly is the need to have a purpose and a need to evolve. And I think that's what qualifies us. And so what's interesting is anybody who's ever gone to Burning Man, or just for that matter, gone to a desert, and realizes, the radicalness of that environment, the severity of that environment. And here we are looking at this environment and asking ourselves, what's possible? What big dream can we have and make it into reality? And so that's what's fun about what I'm gathering from all you guys is, bringing together how evolution with nature, the symbiosis, as you guys put it, between nature and technology, and how is it that we can expand our brains and expand our experience, and as you put it, Bruce, being very transitory as well, because it's constantly evolving. And I think that's really neat. And I'm honored to be talking to you guys. So let me ask you this question. How did you guys actually connect? Because this is an international community transplanting ideas and materials across the world. Yeah, go ahead, Bruce.
Yeah, I've been to Burning Man 3 times, and I met people there, and I've been helping with another art project. It was 3 years ago, and I really had kind of this idea to bring people together. Bruce and Lucas are 2 good friends of mine, and have never been to Burning Man, and I thought it would be nice kind of to work together and bring something there together. And as it goes, it's like it's not just the 3 of us here, but it's more people in the background that are helping us, that are collaborating with us, that are on the East Coast and on the West Coast. And so it's actually really a big community that tries to bring something big and to make something nice.
What's super nice with that is that you learn so much from these exchanges. Like now we're trying to find a place to install or like pre-install before we go to the actual location or the actual playa. And in this process already, like you see, you meet other people, you ask them how could you do that, and in this kind of exchange you learn so much. And this is really, I mean, there's some like cultural differences, which for me it's always it's always an enrichment to have that in also in a team. And this is really a great opportunity to like to get further with yourself finally as well, and help maybe others to do the same.
You know what's interesting, you know, and I think it's very courageous of you guys, because Lucas, I know you haven't been before, and Bruce, you haven't been there either, right?
No.
So let me ask Bruce first, though. I mean, what's your expectation out of this? I mean, you know, you've heard about Burning Man and perhaps a lot of interesting things you've heard about, but the truth is going to be completely different, I'm sure. So what's your expectation, or what are you looking forward to, or what's going to be your magic?
My image would be an interactive art festival in the desert. That's what I'm going to be a participant in, a city of creativity. That's what I expect and hope. I can imagine. What I've seen so far with the project that I like very much, the people that are involved in this, in general, they're very excited and they're very generous with their time and energy. So we have people that contact us for this art project that we know or don't know, and they want to contribute somehow with what they can do. It's really wonderful so far.
And that's actually the nature of it. I mean, you're spot on describing it. And I'm not a spokesman for Burning Man. I just want to make that really clear. You know, this is my second burn. It took me 7 years to get there because all these people that I trusted, you know, told me how brilliant it was. And what's part of my nature is the freedom, the autonomy, the independence, which are all principles of Burning Man. But more so, it's as you say, it's an interactive, creative process where we get to meet so many different people and enjoy the fact that, you know, some of the stuff might be absolutely opposing to what our own beliefs are. And that's that space, sort of like, you know, what Lucas was saying. It's enriching, you know, your own personal life because you get to see things differently. So what are your thoughts, Lucas, as far as going to Burning Man and this being your first time?
I hope that I don't want to have too many expectations, actually, because I want to be I want to be fresh for all of this. And so I'm really open to what happens. I mean, right now we're a bit focused more like how will the project be there, and like I imagine like the space for the project. That's my yeah, my thing at the moment. I don't think too much about the rest of it, and I will want to be like, it's always like, also for like going to concerts, I don't listen to
Right.
the songs in beforehand, because I want to experience it there.
Well, hopefully Itamar is, because he's a pro now, is at least giving you some
He
ways
is.
to get ready for this, right, Itamar? So because you're a pro at this, I mean, you've been to Burning Man quite a few times. At least I hope you're letting your friends here, your buddies here, a little, how to get ready for this. I mean,
of course. I mean, I talked about it a lot. I have to try not to talk about it too much, but also I remember when I went the first time and I tried to prepare for it. I read everything I could read about it, and I watched videos and pictures, and still I couldn't believe what I saw. Like it was still totally different. So I think it's right not to have too many expectations. It's right to inform yourself and to prepare to get basic gear that you need to survive there. But then just go, and it does with you. It does with everyone something else. Everyone is at a different point in his life, and yeah, people come back and evolve and expand.
well, the cool thing, and for any of those who don't know about Burning Man, but obviously for those who do, it's also that place of radical self-reliance. And if I can just say one thing to both of you guys, just be ready for that. But let me ask Bruce here, and this is a question I'm going to ask all of you, by the way, but because we all look at things differently, and if you were to describe not the philosophy or the meaning behind, or perhaps the meaning, yes, but so if you were to describe the artwork that you guys are creating on the playa, Bruce, how would you describe it to people who haven't seen it yet?
I would start with the building something transitory, for sure, because this is a big thing for me. But then we want, in my idea, what we want to do is use technology to create to simulate a natural phenomenon, and then play with that phenomenon. And we would do that by generating a cloud above the playa, and then to play, we will have a light installation that we will use the cloud as a canvas, if you will, to project light, to visualize the lights.
So how do you do that, Lucas? How do you create that?
We're doing a lot of tests at the moment, and it's really about that. What we see so far is that you can make like an instrument in the end, that with which you can play, and with which you can create this nature like experience. And for me, it's all about this the creation of these instruments, and how you can play with it, and how it can interact with this playing as well. So it's really, at the moment, we're still in a phase where we experiment a lot, and where we have to test things, because it wasn't done like this. So we need to work on like put the hands on
Right.
on machines, and try out different things. And also with the light, it's really a testing thing, and it's but I think this is important. We're evolving a lot at the moment, and the project finalizes itself like in this process, which is quite beautiful in this exchange, also like in between the three of us, but but also in the exchange with what we see so far.
Right. And that's a cool thing. What I hear from so many artists is simply that no one's done this before, and no one's thought of this before, and I think that's the cool part. And the danger that I can imagine is that you try something that's never been done before, and it may actually not work out at all. But the fact of the matter is that that's part of that journey, that's part of that process. And the fun about it, and that's what's cool, because as Itamar was saying earlier, it's all about participating. It's all being part of this, and the people there are not spectators, but they're participants, and that's how progress gets made, and that's what's exciting about your work. And sometimes the fear, like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen, because you can't predict what's going to happen out there. And so I have a question for Itamar. Are you concerned about the wind and the sand and the pretty intense weather?
I mean, if there's too much wind, we won't see anything anyways. And of course, this is part of this idea, is that it's kind of impossible that we will face harsh environment. And even if we test it, even if you do a lot of testing in Switzerland or in France, we will not test it in the desert, and we will not know how it is. So I see it also as a big experiment. So and we just play with this machine. We try to do clouds, and maybe it won't work all the time. Maybe it will work just for an instant. Maybe we'll have a perfect cloud, at one moment when the wind is turning and there's no wind. And but anyways, it's also about failing. It's also about trying.
No, absolutely. Bruce, you wanted to say something?
It was going back to what you said, something about the saying that this has never been done before. It's this creativity that really is wonderful. In my profession is fundamental chemical physics, and it's also, we say the same, that it's never been done. We don't know the answer. So it's really this idea of creativity that is wonderful in this project and art. And some people don't see the connection between basic physics and chemistry and art, but for me, there's not. It's the creativity that's underlying both of them.
Well, and let's face it. I mean, just that this collaboration and the sharing and presenting with the world, I mean, that's already a success, and that's what's so wonderful about all the artwork and the people coming together. And that's one thing that I hear all the time, is just a community effort, and it's fun and it's scary sometimes, right? And if you have these ideas and expectations, I mean, you want your genius to work out, of course. And but I have so much respect for all you guys for doing this and working together, and because it's not easy, especially the three of you, as talented and intelligent as you are. It's sort of like, yeah, you got these specific ideas. Well, now you have to work together with totally different ideas. And so that's what's really, really awesome. So, as we slowly wrap up, and I'm really excited to meet you guys in Burning Man and see your artwork. And I'll start off with Lucas. I mean, what are some of the last things that you want to share about your project, about what it's about? So anything, what are several things that you want to share with the community out there and the rest of the world?
Yeah, hopefully you come to see it. I mean, this is we will be somewhere deep in the playa. Come and search for us. Search for the evolving and dissolving clouds. And I mean, we will soon start also like our blog. So if people are interested to follow our process and everything, this would be great. The link is already on the Burning Man page, but it's a dead end till now. But in some days, this will be different. So follow our process and follow how it's going on and how and come and meet us in real on the playa.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I'm going to ask you too, just help me with any links that we can add to this interview as things progress. Any new links, any new comments, add them on there so that people can see this interview later on, because we're going to be sharing this kind of stuff. But here's a question I have for Lucas before I go to your two friends here, artists, colleagues, craftsmen, geniuses. How can people reach you, or how can actually people support you? And is funding also something that you guys need? Because I do know one thing, that, these things cost a lot of money. And so part of my purpose with these interviews is to, make a call out to people who says, hey, you know what, if this is something that inspires you, help these guys out. So is there a way that people can support you?
I mean, we're still looking for helpers. We're still looking for funding as well. That's the two main things, like helping hands and money.
Okay.
is what we're searching. And there we can put it we have a project's email address with which we are easily reachable. We can put this to the live stream as well, I guess, and it's also on the Burning Man website.
Okay.
There's the contact directly. So if you're interested, if you want to participate, please don't hesitate to contact us.
Yeah, I think this is an incredible project, and all the help you guys can get, then the greater the likelihood it's going to be an incredible success. I know it's already going to be a success, but it's always nice to have it a little easier than harder. So, Itamar, what are some of the last things that you want to share about this project? And
I mean, I'm just very excited, and the whole process is also a lot of fun to do. So even if we fail, we can't fail, because it's so much fun. And maybe to be more specific on help and funding, we do need space in Reno. So if somebody knows about a place that we could be before the we to prepare and to test and to build up before we transport everything to the playa, we would be very happy.
Actually, I can even help you right now. The two interviews I did last week, Baba Yaga and Peter Hazel, I think they're both in Reno, and they're in this huge warehouse where a lot of the artwork is being held. So maybe you can reach out to any of those two and see, if that's even possible. But definitely they have a huge warehouse. There's a lot of artists working there. I'm sure they'd be happy to support you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we already have a few leads, but nothing certain yet. So we're still open for any ideas.
What I can do, in fact, I'll send Peter Hazel an email and see if that's possible. I have no idea if it is or not. I don't want to put him in a position, but at least I can find that out. And Bruce, what are your last thoughts as we wrap it up, and about this incredible artwork and adventure that you guys have?
Final thoughts. I'm grateful to Itamar and Lucas for making this project together, and for the Burning Man Foundation for seeing the use of it, or seeing that it was worth supporting. And so far, it's been it's quite a bit of work, but it's really a pleasure. And I'm looking forward to seeing it on the playa, and to coming to Black Rock City and being a fish in water. I can't wait.
I love it. And again, for those listening in, this is the ethereal fleeting. It's transitory symbiosis of nature and technology. And actually, that's what life is all about, is finding a beautiful synergy and alchemy of everything that's around us and within us, so that we can actually make this life a much better place. And who better to show us that path to people like Lucas and Itamar and Bruce, with their creativity, with their genius, collaborating in a generative way and creating some really cool stuff. So I want to thank all three of you. And again, reaching out to people, this world is not built on its own. It's built with the support of all of us. And if we can help you guys as well, then that would be awesome. That's part of the purpose of these interviews, is to help others help you. So thank you so much. And I look forward to checking in with you in a couple of months right before Burning Man. And then, of course, at Burning Man as well. Guys, you're amazing. You're awesome. And thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Bart.